Searching online for my son's 18th birthday car, I found typical websites overpriced. Turning to Craigslist, I hoped for a better deal. A week later, I found a Toyota Camry online. With only 67,000 miles, no damage, and priced at $3,500, it seemed an unbelievable steal just 10 miles away. I called the seller Bob to arrange a visit. His voice sounded normal, and he assured me the Camry had absolutely no issues. The appointment was set. With $3,500 cash, I drove to Bob's property, arriving 15 minutes early. A tiny house sat on a large, isolated plot, far from any neighbors. The open garage revealed only an unusual array of car parts, empty otherwise. No Camry was visible, just an old pickup truck sat on the property. Confirming the address, I found the doorbell missing. I knocked, waiting 5 minutes, but silence answered my persistent attempts. Bob was not there. Dialing Bob's number, I heard his phone ring distinctly from inside the house. Confusion mounted. He was home, yet remained silently unresponsive. Peering into the dark house, I saw an old dining room. Across from it, a figure stood by the back door, staring out. I knocked, but he remained motionless. With no gate, I simply walked around the house to the backyard. I still couldn't understand how he hadn't heard me, standing so still. Reaching the back door, a shocking realization seized me. The figure I'd seen was not Bob, but a taxidermied human being. I ran back to my car. As I drove off, the previously open blinds now revealed 2 creases, where someone watched my frantic escape. Gas pedal floored, I sped home. The mystery endures. No Camry, strange car parts, and that taxidermied figure. It suggests he wasn't selling a car. I realize how close I came to becoming another lifeless statue. As a little child, often alone with my single mom, she always checked on me nightly. One evening, I awoke, hearing a faint sound from my closet. I looked up to see my mom at the foot of my bed. She gave me a gentle, playful wave, her face serene in the low light. She told me to go back to sleep, then slipped into my closet. Pulling the door almost shut, her single eye peered through the crack, watching me. I eventually fell asleep. The next morning, over cereal, I asked Mom about hiding in my closet. She stopped, puzzled, saying she hadn't been in my room all night. Mom first feared a break-in, but soon realized it was my vivid hallucination or dream. Since then, I've had only 2 others, none as creepy. In 2009, I stayed on my uncle's ranch during a huge thunderstorm. The lightning and thunder were constant. I lay in bed, enjoying the storm's raw ambience, watching TV. After the movie, I turned off the TV. As lightning struck, a distinct metallic thud echoed from outside. It happened again. Concerned but wary of my creepy uncle, I stayed quiet. After a third thud, I rose and went to the guest bedroom window. Rain obscured the view, but a lightning flash momentarily lit the dark fields. Again, a metallic hit very close from a blind spot. I decided to open the window. Unhooking the lock, I slid it up. Wind and rain instantly rushed in. I leaned out, looking left, as lightning flashed once more. Lightning revealed a figure in black, crouched by the basement door. His hand was raised. In that brief flash, I saw him bashing at the door lock. I quickly pulled my head in, shutting and locking the window quietly. Panic set in, had he seen me. I ran to bed, feigning sleep, facing away from the glass. Lightning crashed again, but no thud followed. My heart dropped. I lay frozen, listening, until several more crashes came with silence. Finally, I decided to tell my uncle. I turned to face the window and screamed. A figure, clear as day, stood watching me from outside. I yelled again, then bolted straight to my uncle's room. My uncle, clad only in pajamas, grabbed his hunting rifle and ran outside. Yelling like a madman, he scoured the property but found no one. The next morning, the basement door lock was almost bashed open. My uncle was proud. I left that day, grateful my late-night movie might have averted a robbery or something much worse. In 2017, I chose a stormy Wednesday for a solitary movie night, avoiding crowds. As expected, I was alone in the theater, feet up in a high center seat. 20 minutes in, a few rows down, I noticed a head peering over a seat. Not watching the screen. As the movie brightened, a pale, lifeless face with messy hair was staring directly at me. An introvert, I avoided confrontation. The screen darkened, and the person lowered, disappearing completely. I was terrified, yet remained frozen in my seat, unable to concentrate. I almost forgot, then the head reappeared much closer, just 3 rows away. I yelled, genuinely startled. It was a man with long, unkempt hair. His lifeless eyes motionlessly hung open, staring. I bolted from my seat, heading for the exit. To reach the door, I had to pass the very row where that unsettling figure was lurking. As I passed, I glanced down the row. Instead of a body, a man lay on the floor, holding a severed head on a stick. It was a nightmare. I ran through the exit door. I burst through the back exit, racing to the parking lot. Heart pounding, I drove home in a panic. That severed head looked horrifyingly real. At home, I researched missing persons. I found a 17-year-old Donald Watkins, whose photo eerily matched the head. My brain sought similarities, but the features seemed a terrifying match. The next day, I called the theater, suggesting they check cameras. I never heard back. I chose not to pursue it further, but the horror stayed with me. Ben and I, old friends and broke, moved into a cheap Northville, Michigan house. The quiet street wasn't ideal, but the unbeatable price suited our needs perfectly. We quickly noticed the abandoned house across the street, overgrown and graffitied. Our other neighbor, Marv, was an older, hippish man with long gray hair and beard, friendly but odd. That evening, smoking on our stoop, I saw a face in the abandoned house window, staring intently. Shocked, I pointed, but it vanished before Ben could see. The foggy glass only revealed the eyes. Ben, now unnerved, believed me. We ran to Marv's, but he wouldn't answer his door, though we saw him watching TV inside. His refusal intensified our growing dread. Ben returned, katana in hand, proposing we break in. Once dark, we went across the street. Breaking the board on the back door, we entered the abandoned house. Inside, our flashlights cut through the dust. The house was decrepit but untouched by vandals, disturbingly creepy. Joking about leaving, we cleared the small first floor, then headed upstairs. Tiptoeing to the stairs, Ben suddenly yelled, "Is anybody up there?" We froze. Rapid, heavy stomping thundered from above, rushing toward the stairway. My heart stopped. Ben, clutching his katana, grabbed my arm and fled. We ran, exiting the way we came. Reaching our house, we saw Marv by his window, silently watching our frantic escape. Inside, we decided against calling police. The very next day, we moved out. Telling our landlord it was inconvenient, we drove away from that house, never looking back.